Welcome back to the second part of our first episode in season 3 on the Flipdish Takeaways podcast, where we are continuing the conversation with a wonderful team over at the Bok Shop.
On stage there were 10 people, and 9 of these people were pretty much dying by the third chicken wing. A couple of them were crying. One of them was having a bit of an issue in a bucket. And then there was this one chap who just went up, and ate the lot. And I'm just standing there going, what the hell is he doing? I mean, I wasn't expecting anyone to get to 10. And he just went, yeah, have you got any more?
Insane.
I couldn't believe it.
You've got to want to see other people happy. If you're not driven to see a smile on someone's face, then you're in the wrong business. Yeah. You're completely in the wrong business, because on a small independent scale, you're not going to get rich. Yeah. But you've got to be driven through that, and you've got to be passionate about what you're doing. And if the passion is seeing other people happy, then you're going to be driven to make sure you're giving them the best thing that you can.
How important is trying to stay away from Flipdish as much as possible? How important is the tech when you're running?
It's infinitely important.
And the reason, part of the reason why I asked this question is because you mentioned Deliveroo earlier. And the big question, part of the theme of this podcast, is marketplaces, friend or foe. How do you treat them? How do you feel about the marketplaces?
They're critical. They're critical to our promotion. They're critical to how people perceive us.
Yep.
Deliveroo, you have to take your head out of just thinking of it as these guys are taking a big chunk of our share just to deliver some food. They're not. Deliveroo are promoting our business. If we work well with them, they promote our business. Yeah. They put us at the higher end of their lists, and they tell people that we're there. They offer promotion behind it by doing special offers and all kinds of awarenesses of our business. Obviously, it's beneficial to both of us. They're not doing it just from the goodness of their heart. We sell more, they make more money. But you have to go beyond just going, well, that cost was just for delivery. That cost is promotion and brand awareness and delivery. And if you think of it in that package, then what they charge is a fair charge. Yeah. We'd love them to do it for less. We understand. Hint. Obviously, we'd love them to do it for less, but it's essential part of what we do. If we didn't have that, I think the awareness of how people would be aware of us in Brighton, they wouldn't. Yeah. It wouldn't be enough. Yeah. We have to have them on board.
Particularly when you've got a marketplace like Brighton, which is so heavily delivery based as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, I believe it's Deliveroo's biggest market outside London in the UK. Yeah. And I think that obviously forms the biggest part of our business in Brighton. But as we grow into places like Horsham, it's going to become as important to use that as a marketing tool, but we can still generate our restaurant trade, which obviously delivers some more profit because we're not paying someone else to deliver the product. Yeah, I think.
I mean, we're very lucky also. We've got really good really good support from them. The people that look after our account, specifically our local account manager, she's lovely. She cares about the product. She tries the product, which is really important. It's all very well for people to go, we're really great. And you're talking to someone that's in an office somewhere else and they've never tried it. You've got to try it. Yeah. And then they'll be enthusiastic about it and they'll want to help. And she does on a regular basis, and we're very lucky.
It's nice to hear because it's often referred to as a necessary evil, but in reality, what it sounds like you're saying, it's necessary.
It is necessary.
So much, yes.
I think
the pricing could come down, but
people want to have food delivered. Yeah. It's part of the world we live in today. Yeah. We like the fact that you can sit at home and you're on the sofa watching a film, and I can scroll through on my phone on Deliveroo and go, that looks nice. Well, that looks nice. We'll have that, and we'll put in an order. People love that. It's an amazing service. It's like sitting in a hotel and ordering room service.
But it's decent food.
Who doesn't want that?
It's great food.
Unlike in room service, which is ironic you say that actually, because we were a few minutes ago saying the whole QSR thing and the removal of the hospitality aspect through this evolution and imposition to some extent of technology was a bad thing because we believe it was taken away from hospitality, which we think is integral to our business or what we believe our business should look like. but simultaneously, say, look at this convenience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe there is an argument for everything in balance, right?
Yeah. And convenience for you is massive because not often do we have a customer who has, 4 kitchen display screens, who has the handheld point of sale, the QR code ordering. What does that mean for you internally? Does it mean that you can operate quicker, faster, smoother?
It's all about speed.
Sure.
So specifically in Brighton, where speed is 100%, it's important because the Deliveroo, to be high up on their list, you have to meet lots of criteria that the algorithm then calculates where you're going to be on the list according to that criteria. And one of the critical things is how quick can you get the food to the driver? If you are consistently slow, i.e. the driver's at the window and you're not ready or not ready within a certain period of time, then you will gradually disappear down that list, because the longer that driver's waiting, the later he's going to be to his drop-off, the later he's going to be to his next pickup.
The way you're describing this harps on something that you mentioned earlier to us, I think, before we came in here, that one of your previous guests on this podcast have been saying, come and sit with me for a week. I'll pay you, but see how fucking complicated this is. Yeah. It's not about frying chicken and put it in a pot and making it look pretty. Yeah. The complexity of the operation takes a huge amount of experience and a huge amount of expertise. And I think it's underestimated from a guest experience. I'm not slagging off customers, but from a guest experience point of view, to get that product into a Deliveroo bag and out the door and to you on time takes a Herculean effort from the part of the operator.
Actually, one of the things I love doing, so on our busiest nights of the week, Friday and Saturday night, I like to watch the CCTV because it's like watching a ballet.
Not creepy at all.
No, but it's like watching a ballet. When you watch our Brighton store in particular, they'll have, you can attest to this because you see it as well live. They'll have 70, 80, 90 orders on screen.
And as it's a ballet, they're doing it in tutus.
And you watch how they all work together to get that done, to work through those orders and get them out exactly on the right time in a timely manner without missing items, the correct products in the correct bags. And
if you don't have those screens, if you don't have those set, one of the things that the KMS system allows to happen is that those sections, our burger section, our tender section, etc., the way that allows it to feed into a dispatch screen and us to know what's going on without often having to check a bag, because in theory we should have.
Well, and also because it can print. One of the things Flipdish does brilliantly, and I know we this isn't just about you guys, but it's the label printer. It's the fact that every box can have a label on it. You tap the screen on that product and it prints a label quickly. You stick that label onto the box and that box is now identified as, this is what's in it, this is the customer it's going to, and by the way, it's the Bok Shop. Yeah. And it goes forward to dispatch. And they know exactly which bag to put that in because the bag will match. They'll put a sticker on the bag that matches the box that's going in it. And it means that you eliminate a lot of issues. Before we had that system, our biggest problem was we were getting the wrong stuff to the wrong customers. And it was always a problem. And, because the best that anyone else can do is print a label, print a receipt. Yep. You staple that receipt to the bag and then you've got to tick it off manually with a marker, which they've always lost, or it's dried up, or they can't find the stapler because the stapler's run out of staples, they've lost it or whatever. It's just not the way to work. That's how we worked 20 years ago. This is how we work in 2025.
There was a line around hospitality has not caught up to the technology that exists in every other industry right now. It's funny because you were saying about the Deliveroo success manager, I guess, who's tried the food. And I think that's something, no self-nominations here, but that we've done, and it would be a big recommendation to any tech provider, is go and see what a restaurant needs. Yeah. Just live it, breathe it, feel it. And we spoke about the Genobi team with Bhavesh and Tariq, who they built the point of sale from within a restaurant. Yeah. And that's what you need to see. It can't just be, as you said earlier, people sat in an office who don't actually understand the way it works. You need to see it, feel it, and then build specifically.
Many years ago, I had a retail business. Funny enough, when we first met. And I went to a couple of brothers because I had a cash register. I used to have an order pad that I'd write orders out by hand and a cash register. That was it. And I went to these brothers who were real techie guys, and I said, "Can you build an EPOS system?" "Oh, of course we can. We're programmers. That's what we do. We program stuff." And I said to them, "No, come on then. I want you to build me an EPOS system that will make this business work. I don't want to handwrite orders anymore, and I don't want to. I don't want a cash register. I want something that can keep track of everything and know what I've got in stock. I've got 1,000 lines of product in here, and I don't know what I've got." And yeah. And they wrote some software and they put some kit in, and it was a disaster. None of it worked properly. And I went, "Guys, this doesn't work." And they were like, "Well, to be honest, we don't really understand what you want." And we're like, "Well, why don't you come into my shop and see how a shop runs, and then you'll know what I want?" Yeah. And they were like, "Oh no, we don't really do that." And in the end, fortunately, they agreed. They said, "We'll take the kit back." And I went to a different company, and that company went, "We're first of all retailers." And they knew how to write software for retailers. And that's what Flipdish does, is that they know, because they started off with, we've got a restaurant. How do we make this restaurant run better? We know how to program and we know how to run a restaurant. Let's make that work together. And that's critical, because there's plenty of companies out there offering some fantastic looking software that doesn't work.
Yes. and that's kind of it, right? We're not building for retail, we're not building for football stadiums, we're not building for pubs, we're building for restaurants like the Bok Shop. Yeah. And we know what you need, we know what you don't need. This is turning way too much into a sales conversation. No. Sorry.
But do you want a job?
Please, you're more than welcome. The bit of a segue into challenges. Tech has its own challenges. Yeah. What has been a massive challenge? Whether it's been a menu item that hasn't sold, whether it's been an area that hasn't worked, what's been something that keeps you up at night?
Well, there's been there's lots of challenges.
I think when you're running a small independent hospitality business for 10 years now, I think a multitude of things go wrong, and I think anyone on their journey who says that hasn't happened would be lying. I think that I think the ups and downs of the market play a big thing, and I think we'd be avoiding the elephant in the room if we didn't say COVID caused in some ways it caused a massive fuck up. And in some ways, it did change our business. We completely changed our business model in COVID. So Brighton was a restaurant originally, and we completely rebuilt and remodeled the thing to become delivery only through COVID. And that's the way it stayed. I think that our Brighton store, personally, I think our Brighton store would be better served right now if it had a restaurant, had a seated restaurant. But we are where we are. And I think, you make decisions based on the way the market sits at the time. Without the ability to necessarily predict the future, and I think that's one of the biggest problems, especially as an independent operator, without the ability to have forecasting and the finances to go, this is the way the market will fall. I think you sit there and you just take your best guess, and I think that although it serves you well at the time, can cause you problems in the future.
I mean, we did do a dark kitchen during COVID. That was pretty much a disaster. It didn't really work.
No. I mean, it was okay. Yeah. But it wasn't.
It worked busy-wise. It got busy. It was managing it was very difficult. Right. Because you're much smaller space, trying to fit everything in. Then when the orders come, again, it was a bit like when people ask us to do come and do a pop-up. Yeah. We thought, well, we can do it with much less equipment because obviously we want to keep the cost down. But when it's busy, you can't cope.
But I think you learn from that. And not to be too cliche about it, I think every problem presents an opportunity to learn. Yeah. And I think what we've learned over 10 years has shown itself in what Saul especially has achieved by opening Horsham, which is we know now how to make it work, how to make it work quickly, and how to make it work effectively while still producing an exceptionally high quality of product. Yeah. And I think there are times we opened a site in near Croydon.
Yes.
Yeah, near Croydon. As a dark kitchen, and our ability to control the output from that site wasn't good enough, and we learnt from it. And what we've managed to achieve now is foresight to go, well, this is how we open this business, and this is how we do it, so we can control it. Because the quality control at this level, when you're talking about the value of the product and when you're talking about a product which sells itself and the fact it should be better than anyone else's, you can't fuck that up. Yeah. And so that's integral, and that's what we've learned. But all those problems produce, they make it a requirement that you produce a solution. And I think that's probably a more positive way of looking at it. The challenges and the things that go wrong teach you how to make it better in the future. And I think that we're now at a point where we know, well, actually, logistically, just in terms of common sense and in terms of slightly growing up and learning more and maturing through this business, this is how we can now replicate this quickly, profitably, and effectively and efficiently.
Yeah.
And I think that they're the most important things that we've learned.
I mean,
There's one thing I'm disappointed about. And we had a burger called the Roast Malone Burger. A lot of our products are named after hip hop artists. Yeah. So when we had a cocktail menu once, we had the Kendrick Lamar Margarita and lots and lots of things like that. But the Roast Malone Burger, I love roasters, and I think that was my biggest disappointment that doesn't exist anymore because it's such a pain in the ass to.
It had cauliflower cheese in it.
And cranberry sauce.
And we had to make a stuffing for it.
Yeah.
So we made the stuffing, made the cauliflower cheese, and then you had to prepare all these things, which is fine if you were doing it
a roast
in a pub on a Sunday, so you're preparing all these things in the morning, getting it all ready so that you can do service. And this burger, and it was huge. It was a massive burger, and you had to fit all this sloppy stuff. So it had gravy in it as well, so gravy and cauliflower cheese and roast potato shards, all of this stuff. And it was such a faff.
But it tasted really, and it was called the Roast Malone Burger, which I think is the best name for a burger ever.
But it's delicious. But an order would come in for this burger, and you knew that every burger you could do in 3 minutes, and this burger's like a 15-minute operation.
Scribbling it off the menu. So
God, it was so difficult, and it was huge.
Yeah.
And you couldn't really bite into it. You'd squash it down to try and eat this burger. I mean, it was delicious.
Yeah.
But what a pain in the ass.
You talked about great names. Talk to me about the Boo Pill.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just like we do some really nice sort of really big thick milkshakes, and we were just printing our menu for Horsham, and you can always make these hard, as in you can put
booze in them.
And so I designed the menu, and it just said, what did I say?
You said if you can make it hard, just like a blue pill, you can make it hard.
Yeah.
And we thought that's probably not the best thing to
I get outvoted on all this stuff. We've got a pub, and we do pigs in blankets on a Sunday, really nice deluxe pigs in blankets on a Sunday, and I got voted out of calling it an orgy of pigs because it was 4 pigs in one blanket. And it had to be called a sleepover of pigs because I wasn't allowed to call it an orgy of pigs. Basically, I've got a dirty mind. I've got the mind of a 13-year-old teenage boy, and I'm not allowed to do it anymore.
You know what bars or clubs are like, 18 plus, 21 plus. Has there ever been a restaurant that's 18 or 21 plus? Because maybe that's the theme.
Stringfellows? No, I don't know.
I mean, there are times where I wish we could be 18 plus because on a busy service when people are going, how many high chairs can you give us? And you're like, great.
Yeah. So
how many would you like? 7? Oh, okay.
See, I wish the dark kitchens weren't the disaster.
No, I think there is something to be said for it. We've got a pub in the middle of the country, and it's a very family-orientated spot. So it's a massive garden out the back, a massive play area and picnic benches. But what we've done there is we've created a Balearic-themed garden that's got adult only. So you do have to take into account that not everyone wants kids everywhere.
Yeah.
And
you can be truly yourself in that.
Yes, you can. Not to that extent,
great.
but
No, it's really great. The adult garden is a great place to sit on a Sunday lunch because the kids are over there and the adults are over there, and because you go to pubs sometimes. You go, Christ, this would be great if there weren't 300 kids running around me right now.
And we've got some other business partners in that venture who are very, very good at creating this this thing of this design concept where this is very adult only. And it works. It works.
Not as far as Fields of Dreams, but as close to a Field of Dreams as possible. I have some quick fire questions for you.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything else that you want to ask me, that you want to talk about, any of the highlights, any of the wins, something that you're proud of. What's a moment that you're proud of? It could be Bok Shop. It could be.
I don't mean to crawl up your arse, but. Metaphorically or literally, but Saul has managed to do for us as a company in Horsham
Yeah.
is really impressive. And I know I'm like a broken record here, but in the space of 5 weeks, a very good quality restaurant has been created. And I think beyond the fact that we've just opened a very good and busy restaurant very quickly, what it does for us as a company is prove to us that we have the ability to open this thing quickly, cheaply, and produce high quality product, which is paramount to us being able to expand further. Without doing what he's just done in Horsham, that wouldn't be able to happen. But the faith that we now have in the product, going, do you know what? I can do this like this, and I can make it work, and I can replicate profitable sites very quickly at low investment cost. And I think that, to be honest, is probably what I'm most proud of right now. But
Well done, mate.
around the floor.
I mean, I do love. No. We've had a lot of businesses together.
Yeah.
One of my, I love the Bok Shop. It's me. You cut me open, I'm a piece of fried chicken inside, and I love everything we do. But we owned a nightclub called The Haunt, and every time I went into that club, it wasn't fancy. Yeah. It wasn't polished. In fact, it was the opposite of polished.
It was held together with gaffer tape.
It was literally cable ties and gaffer tape held this place together. But every time I went in, and you just saw people going nuts. The really nice crowd we always used to attract, and the music was phenomenal. And whether it was for a live show or for our amazing 80s night that we used to do on a Saturday, I used to stand on the balcony and just think this was absolutely fucking incredible. Loved every second of it. And it was a great thing that we built. And we, similar to what we've just done, we built that on a shoestring. Yeah. We got offered a place that we couldn't possibly afford. The landlord went, I think you could open a nightclub in there. It was a nightclub, but it failed. And he went, and we went, yeah, of course we can. Didn't have a clue how we were going to do it. And then we were like, well, how do we buy anything for this nightclub? We haven't got any money. And we just begged, borrowed and whatever just to get this place open. And we built a really amazing nightclub that for 10 years it operated for 10 years, which is all we had on our lease. We weren't given any extension to the lease. And for those 10 years, it was always busy. It always had a great atmosphere. And I was very, very proud of always being involved in that. And the fact that people still remember it today. It's been closed for...
I think he went there.
Did you actually go? Did you go to the Horn? I mean, I loved it. It was great.
Do you know what I love about the two of you is that your excitement comes from other people's excitement, right? Yeah. And that's massive. I mean, it's the hospitality is who you are, but I can tell it. It's if someone's smiling, you're happy.
I think you would be amiss if you thought... And I can think of a lot of examples of this. So people go into hospitality, especially on a small level, who don't like hospitality.
My brother?
Yeah. You've got to want to see other people happy. If you're not driven to see a smile on someone's face, and whether that be X amount of people with their hands in the air singing to Mr. Brightside, or whether that be people going, fuck, I've just walked out there and a great experience of going back there to have something to eat, then you're in the wrong business. You're completely in the wrong business because on a small independent scale, you're not going to get rich. One day you might, if you expand well enough, but you've got to be driven through that and you've got to be passionate about what you're doing. And if the passion is seeing other people happy, then you're going to be driven to make sure you're giving them the best thing that you can.
Wicked.
It is amazing. When you see people walking out, that was banging. I really loved that. Or when we were opening Horsham, I tell you what I loved. It was brilliant. I was standing outside on a ladder trying to work out how to get our awning to open. So the place already had an awning and I had no idea what was written on it. So I needed to try and work out how to get it to open. And I'm standing on this ladder and people were walking past the shop and we just had some posters in the window saying Bok Shop opening here soon. And people walking past going, oh shit, there's a Bok Shop opening there. Oh, they're banging. They're the ones in Brighton. We've eaten there. It's really good. And you're like, yeah, I like that. I love the fact that people recognised it and that they had nice things. They didn't walk past and go, oh, that was a load of shit. They loved it. And it makes you feel good. Yeah. That's why we do this. I mean, it's got to be because, it's the thing that drives you.
And it's like 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 will be the same. So, love that.
I think if you grow and you really grow and you still don't have that passion or you see a numbers, then you're doing it. Then what's the point? Yeah. You know, again, you could probably better off just to put the money into the stock exchange and watch it grow rather than put the effort into growing it.
I've got 4 questions for you.
Go on.
Favourite restaurant in Brighton?
I can answer my one. You answer your one.
Oh,
No self numbers.
Probably. There's a lot of restaurants in Brighton.
Yeah.
I do like burnt orange.
Okay.
I do like burnt orange.
Yeah.
I think there's too many to
Decisive, good.
but I think
Stick
it'd
with it.
probably go with that.
Etched by Stephen Edwards.
Yeah, great.
Right, I think he's just brilliant. I think he's pushing the boundaries of what we've ever had in Brighton. And I think it's fantastic. It's a beautiful restaurant. The service is phenomenal. The food, the imagination behind the food. I mean, it's a tasting menu. It's obviously at a price. You know, so you wouldn't go every week. You wouldn't probably go every month. But when you go, it's an experience and it's well worth the experience. And I love it every time I go.
I'm down in Brighton on the 20th of January for 2 days. I know where I'm going.
And chicken.
Bok Shop.
Yeah,
Of course.
If I was to invite someone else on this podcast, any recommendations?
What, another restaurant in Brighton?
Any friends you have? Any?
I love Furner.
Any comedians like the two?
So Furner, another phenomenal restaurant in Brighton. They're on.
Yeah.
They're near the theatre. Again, very similar to Etch. They're very similar tasting menu. Really good. Not similar as in they're copying each other. As in their general offering. It's at a specific price level, but it is superb. If I was going the other way and looking at what we do, Burger Brothers.
Yeah.
Burger Brothers do. Obviously, it's beef. It's not chicken, but they are still at the top of their game. They've been at it a long time, and they're still producing a beef burger that is phenomenal. It is superb every time that you go in there, and it never lets you down. One of the things we're very lucky with, we've got a lot of Middle Eastern, Mediterranean style restaurants.
Yep.
Saffron, really great restaurant on New Road. They do phenomenal kebabs.
Yeah.
But what they do that's great, and again, these are little details that I think people need to pick up on. They make their own bread. So their flatbread is made in a tandoor on site. Yeah. So it's hot, it's bubbled, it's crisp.
Yeah.
You can smell it when it's being cooked, and it just makes that kebab just taste better.
There's a really good Italian called Chin Chin.
Oh, they're brilliant.
Chin Chin,
Brilliant.
fresh pasta, really just very, very good. Bar service as well in there, so you can sit at the bar and eat as a lone diner, or there's table service as well. But they've just got a very, very Italian way of cooking, i.e. it's simplistic with very good ingredients. They're definitely worth going to if you haven't been there as well.
Brighton's the place to be.
The best bargain lunch on St James's Street is a place called Falafel House, run by a little family. They're not from the UK, but they're lovely, lovely people. And for £7.50, you get probably the best falafel you can get this side of Europe. It's superb. And £7.50 today is cheap for lunch. You know, there's not many places that can offer you that.
Linked to the previous question, death row meal.
Something from the Hawksmoor.
Yeah.
The old spot belly ribs, or if they're still old spot, I don't know, at the Hawksmoor with the slaw that goes on the side. That dish
That's amazing.
That dish.
Are we going to have that later?
I think we're going to go there later.
I'm so jealous.
That dish. And there's a restaurant in Marrakesh called Nomad, which is a little rooftop restaurant. It's somewhere in the souks.
Yeah.
They do some. It's very simple, but it's really lovely, and it's a westernised restaurant. It's not a traditional Marrakesh setup, but it's authentic in the way in the food it produces, and there's some really nice food that I've had there before, which is really good as well. But yeah, the old spot belly ribs, the Hawksmoor.
Yeah, I'll come to either of them with you.
That's that one.
So,
well, my favourite restaurant probably in the UK would be Restaurant Story. Which isn't very far from here. It's just phenomenal. Just the design behind the menu and everything that's the detail in there, it is worthy of the accolades it's received. I don't know. I mean, the best ever. I suppose if that was my death row meal, though, I wouldn't want to necessarily sit down for a, 10-course tasting menu. So I'd probably opt for the massive seafood platter at and the bandstand.
Riddle and Finn.
Riddle and Finn.
Yeah,
Yes, Riddle and Finn.
Yeah.
They do a
Yeah.
seafood platter that comes out with two people usually have to carry it. It's
Yeah.
so huge. And you could just sit there and just munch your way through the best, finest.
Upstairs, looking
That's
over the
it.
water.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's really
And-
messy. It's a really messed up. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be able to enjoy it.
Oh, I love it. I love
Well,
the
no, not
mess.
if I thought I was about to die.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So you want a really depressing meal?
Yeah.
Just
Just like,
bubble and squeak.
Yeah,
Just
or-
something to keep you depressed. And you think,
yeah, I think,
I'm done.
yeah. Or maybe something with a Yorkshire pudding. I think.
A roast,
Yeah.
maybe
Right,
Sunday
maybe
roast. I mean,
Sunday roast.
I have to say our Sunday roasts are amazing.
It is. They are.
I mean, I am blowing
The,
my own horn,
the,
but
bar,
they are
the barley
good.
mow in Selmerston.
Yeah.
Best Sunday roast you can have.
I left Brighton almost 10 years ago. I want to come back. You sold it.
It's a funny thing. I mean, I'm not Brighton born. I went to Brighton because my grandparents had a holiday home there. And they offered me, if I wanted to study in Brighton, I could stay in their holiday flat.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I don't pay any living costs. And my grandmother used to come down at the weekends and wash my clothes. And she'd cook me dinners and put them in the fridge for the week and stuff like that. It was brilliant.
Sounds very unfair.
Yeah, I had a great student life.
Not jealous. Oh,
not at all.
no.
And I lived in a really nice
Yeah.
flat. And I even got to use my grandfather's car sometimes. It was great. But I mean, it is. But Brighton, because that connection, it was always there. And it's one of those things that you kind of, once it's in your blood, you can't really escape it. It is somewhere that's very nice to live. We're very lucky to have that, you know.
Where do we find you? Socials, addresses.
Well,
where can our lovely
Horsham
listeners
is
go and watch? And eat some great
Horsham's number 7 Pirry's Place in Horsham. It's got a big multi-storey car park right next to it. We are next door to Starbucks, so you can't miss us. It's the only Starbucks in Horsham, as far as I am told.
And opposite the Everyman
Opposite
Cinema.
the Everyman Cinema.
Lovely.
In Brighton, we're on 3 to 4 East Street, which is opposite a pub called the East Street Tap, across the road from a nightclub called Chalk. You can't miss us. If you're on East Street, head towards the sea,
Seafront end.
and you'll find us on the corner before you hit the sea.
Yep.
And on socials, you just look up the Bok Shop UK. You will find us. You know, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Yeah.
We're doing loads of TikTok stuff at the moment.
You
It's
will
great
see
fun.
7 people crying on a stage trying to eat those.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolute madness. Yeah, and we'll look forward to the next time we're going to do that.
Yeah.
We're doing something this weekend with Tide. We're doing a little giveaway with Tide Nightclub, and they've got a few people involved. It's to raise money for charity, which is great, and we're doing a little giveaway to go with that.
Amazing. Well, thank you both
Thank you very
so
much.
That was our first rodeo.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.